What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more George Michael, and we're returning to his 1996 album, Older. Thank you again to Michaela for the physical CD. And the next track is Fastlove, as one word, so thinking of it just in the way I would if it were two words, my expectation this may relate to a quick start to a relationship, maybe just an intimate connection, but the idea that maybe there's an infatuation before a fuller feeling or even a knowledge necessarily of the parties involved has truly set in. Now, of course, it could have a different meaning. I've never seen this single word phrase written in this way, so if it does have a common meaning, if it is something that people say, I'm not familiar with it. But yes, that would be my expectation, that we're talking about a love that is rapidly starting and maybe not as knowledgeable or comprehensive as a love that is a slow burn and build to finally making a connection. So I'll see what I can catch on a first listen. This is George Michael. The track is Fastlove, and it's from his 1996 album Older. What an atmospheric ending to the track. I love that. It feels like it could have just ended on that last bar when it went into that atmospheric breakdown at the end. And it would have been a pretty typical track. It could have faded out like in that recurrent refrain slash extended chorus in the latter stages. And again, it would have been entirely standard. But the fact that it had a real artistic, atmospheric, and ambient style proper end of the track was a huge boost, or like number one, a surprise, but I really enjoy the artistry of the conclusion of the track. So okay, sonically it has that 90s R&B meets pop feel. Indeed, I was thinking at one point along the way that if you change the voice, I wouldn't have been surprised to hear that like as a Michael Jackson tune or something. But then, okay, so we have some different elements. I especially enjoyed those brass flourishes. I assume that was a saxophone. I also enjoyed there was like a like higher end synth flourish, not quite like theremin like, but very wispy and electronic. I especially enjoyed that element too. And as I said, the percussive rhythm and just the like nighttime type of feel of the melodic texture was, as I said, very like 90s R&B meets pop. Lyrically, I'm intrigued because, okay, so at first I was thinking it was exactly as I expected. It's the idea of someone saying, hey, like, look, I'm not Mr. Right, and I'm not looking for, what a lot of my friends are doing, where they all have babies, which I assume means like a lover, a significant other, a real love of your life type of relationship. And he's saying, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for a bit of affirmation, a bit of peace of mind, and maybe I can give you a lesson in Fastlove. You'll enjoy this too, and maybe you'll learn about the art of intimacy. So I'm thinking again, it's like someone who's saying and declaring very clearly and openly, I'm not looking for some long-term thing. I'm not looking to be the perfect fix to your life and, the anchor that you can attach yourself to and, will go on holding hands into the sunset or into the horizon. He's saying, hey, I want the here and now, and it'll be good for both of us. So, why don't you give yourself over to that type of experience? But then, after it had a bit of a sonic shift in the latter stages, it sounds like he's saying, I'm missing my baby, and maybe this is all about trying to get over someone who he did have that idea about, that they were going to be together forever and walking into the sunset holding hands, but it didn't work out that way, and now he's trying almost like, making a bit too much of it to like, hey, I'm just here for some intimacy and I don't want to be like my friends who have these long-term relationships and I can't be your Mr. Right. So it sounds like he's compensating or overcompensating a little bit, and maybe he's restricting himself to this short-term enjoyment because he doesn't want to get burned again. He doesn't want to have that, crushing emotional blow that apparently he already has. So yeah, about halfway or maybe even 2/3 of the way into the tune, my apparent, and again, maybe I'm not hearing it right, but my understanding of what was happening seemed to shift. And it's like, oh, wait a minute, like, he's carrying some baggage even though he was presenting himself as not doing that, and just, hey, let's be upfront about this. this is about tonight. It's not about next year or 10 years from now or anything like that. So, yeah, I was curious about the way it seemed to take a bit of a narrative turn. Either way, great vocals as always. He really does have an expressive voice, and I like when he goes a bit higher. He has a really like rich voice in the higher end of his range. So yeah, another cool tune from him, and one that does very much speak to the sonic flavor of the mid 90s. Again, I've been going through some mid 90s stuff from Madonna, which is notably different from the 80s Madonna stuff, for which she perhaps still is like most known, you know, tracks like Material Girl and so on. And as I've gone through that 90s stuff, it has shifted heavily to that R&B, you know, sort of, what's the right word? Not necessarily hip-hop, although some tunes are in that vein. But that, again, like 90s R&B, hip-hop meets pop music type of feel. And that's very much where this one was musically. So, in any case, let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.